Well, whether you are chasing the fountain of youth or trying to get into a skincare routine now to try and stave off inevitable aging later on, our next guest says we are doing it wrong when it comes to our skincare. Dr. Sandy Skotnicki is a dermatologist with 20 years of experience. Beyond soap is her response to our skincare routines. She's our guest in studio this morning. Good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
What is great about the book is it is science and logic to kind of cut through all the marketing, the heavy marketing that we face every day.
Yep.
First off, you talk about this destructive cycle that we're in. Explain that to us.
Well, I think one of the core concepts I try to get across, and I try to make the science as easy as possible, is that our skin is like a brick wall. And the mortar of our wall is fats or lipids. And soap and water, even just water, remove the mortar. So when we're in the shower and we're washing ourselves and we're thinking because we're conditioned because it's for health, you're actually damaging your skin with soap and water. It's removing that mortar of the brick wall.
Yeah, we have this idea that it has to be squeaky clean.
Right, and that's the wrong. I think some people are getting that idea, but they don't understand why. I think a lot of people, a light bulb will go off and they'll go, is that actually what I'm doing? Our skin's an armor, and we're diminishing the armor by removing the mortar of the wall.
This next stat I found fascinating. You say on average, women will put 16 products on their face before they ever leave the house.
Right.
So what is it that we actually need to be putting on our face?
You know, I'm not going to convince everybody to pare down, but just even to think about less is more, because what happens when a lot of patients will come back, or friends even say, I don't have a problem with my skincare. But the problem is, what happens when you do? And there's 40% of the world that thinks they have sensitive skin. It's the culmination or the combination of all of the products together. So your shampoo washes over your face, then your cleanser, then your makeup, then your toner, and all of that together, your skin gets a rash, and then you go to the dermatologist and you're like, why? And we're pulling our hair out because we're saying it's all of it all together. And if you think about it in that way, it's the accumulation of irritation from all the product ingredients.
So less really is more in terms of skincare.
Less is so much more, yeah.
So what do you do?
I wear sunscreen every day. I use a bit of retinol. I try to eat well, drink a lot of water, exercise, get 8 hours of sleep.
And what do you do to clean your face?
I use a micellar cleanser, so I actually don't use water. I use micellar is a category of cleanser where the detergent's sort of sprinkled in the water.
Okay.
And that's it. It's very simple. And I don't overwash. I only wash my bits. I wash under my arms and the groin, and that's it. This sort of proverbial washing your whole body because you think it's healthy is damaging. And it's probably causing things like allergy and eczema, in particular in children.
Let's do a true or false, because I think this is going to be super helpful for people. Okay, number one, showers are better than baths.
True.
This is true. Why?
Because water is a universal solvent. You actually, when you're sitting in the bathtub, you're leaching out your mortar, you're damaging your brick wall. So, I mean, if you want to have a bath, less than 10 minutes. And the sort of thing about throwing your kid in a bathtub every night is not good. You don't need to do that. And actually, the American Academy of Dermatology even has come out and said you only need to wash your kids several times a week with normal skin, kids that have normal skin.
See, I did that very wrong. I just figured there were 3 of them and they were all the same age and somebody's got to be dirty, so they all went in the bath every night. Okay, true or false, foaming body washes are better than bar soap?
So that's true with a caveat, because traditional bar of soap that's high pH and alkaline is actually very damaging to your skin and also may affect our microbiome, our skin bacteria. If it's a foaming body wash that doesn't have lots of bells and whistles like fragrances and organic stuff that doesn't need to be in there, then yes, it's true.
And again, just wash the important bits. You don't need to scrub the whole body.
Right.
But what about this idea, doctor, of being, we don't want to be dirty? What about things that sit on our skin and maybe can cause a smell?
Right. Well, that's hard. Water is a solvent, okay? If you're out and you've been dirty, like your pollution or working out, yes, then you might want to give yourself a light scrub. But it's the mindlessness. If you just went to work all day and didn't do anything, and you get in the shower and scrub your whole body, it's not good for you.
Okay, last true or false. Facial cleansing should be done in both the morning and the evening. This is what every ad will tell us.
Technically, in the morning, you don't have to, unless you've been out hunting all night. I mean, you don't need to do that. So a little splash with water or nothing, or a micellar cleanser, but you do not need to wash in the morning.
Okay, this last one gave me a real aha moment. When you were in school, you were constantly asking about anti-aging and how can I stave off aging, and a professor said to you, go home and check your backside.
Right.
What's the correlation?
Well, he was 80 at the time, so you have to mention he would have trained when there was no antibiotics. And he would have trained before Botox and all these other things. And you know, dermatology is a subspecialty of internal medicine. And the only thing you really need to do to prevent aging is sun protection. And so what he meant by that is if you all go home and look at your backside,
and I suggest you do in the commercial.
yeah, there's no brown, there's very few wrinkles, and that's what you need to do.
Because it's always covered.
It's always covered.
This is such good information. The book is called Beyond Soap. Thank you so much for coming in. We've
Thank
learned
you.
a lot today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, still ahead on Your Morning.